क्यों करें? राहुल गांधी अगर जाति जनगणना कराना चाहते हैं तो अभी भी उनकी अनेकों राज्यों में सरकार है, वहां पे करवाइए। ये धोखा है, ये छलावा है। राहुल गांधी हमारी बात करके अपनी डूबी हुई नाव को उठाना चाहते हैं। उनकी डूबती नैया के किनारा अब लगाने वाला कोई बचा नहीं है।
राहुल गांधी को प्रधानमंत्री बनाना पड़ेगा, तमाम पिछड़ों को, दलितों को।
क्यों बनाए? अरे भाई क्यों बनाए? ठेका ले रखा है हमने बार बार तुम्हें प्रधानमंत्री बनाने का।
यही तो कह रहे हैं राहुल गांधी।
तो हम चंद्रशेखर को ना बनाएंगे राष्ट्रपति प्रधानमंत्री, हम बहन कुमारी मायावती जी को ना बनाएंगे प्रधानमंत्री। हमारे समाज में योग्यता नहीं है, हमारे समाज में नेता नहीं है, हमारे समाज में उनसे ज्यादा संघर्ष करने वाले लोग हैं। राहुल गांधी तो अब निकले हैं बुढ़ापे में सड़कों पे, हमारे तो नेता ही भैया सड़कों से तैयार होते हैं।
मतलब पंडित राहुल गांधी आप विरोध कर रहे हैं?
मैं उनकी विचारधारा, दोगली विचारधारा का विरोध करूं। मैं आपको फिर बता दूं, मैं किसी व्यक्ति की विरोधी नहीं हूं, मैं किसी पार्टी की विरोधी नहीं हूं, मैं विचार की विरोधी हूं, जो विचार लोगों को बांटता है।
बताया जा रहा है
होगा, कुछ लोग बता रहे होंगे बिके हुए, ऐसा पैसा बहुत है, तुम्हें दे दिया, तुम्हें लिखना आता है, लो मेरे लिए लिखो, तुम्हें दे दिया, तुम भी लिखो। मेरे पे पैसा नहीं, मैं लिखवा नहीं सकती भाई साहब, तो मेरे तो ईमानदार यही लोग हैं, ये लिख सकते हैं। कौन बुद्धिजीवी? अरे समाज की बुद्धि कटोरे में रख के उन्हें दे रहे हैं जाकर, वो बुद्धिजीवी हैं? बुद्धिजीवी वो है जो ये समझे चाहे देर से तैयार हो, अपनी कुटिया तैयार करो और जल्दी के चक्कर में दूसरे के महल में जाके बैठ जाओ, कल को भगा देगा तो कहाँ जाओगे?
समाज की क्रीम है वो, राहुल गांधी को पसंद है।
कौन? आपने चखी है वो क्रीम? हम तो नहीं कह रहे क्रीम है या गोबर है, कैसे महसूस करोगे आप? कैसे पता क्रीम है? कैसे पता क्रीम है?
आपने कहा भी थोड़ा बहुत लिख देते हैं तो वो हो जाता है। ये
तो मेरे लिए तो वो क्रीम नहीं है ना, मेरे लिए तो क्रीम नहीं है। अगर किसी को लिखना आता है और वो किसी की चापलूसी में लिख रहा है तो वो लेखक नहीं है, वो विचारक नहीं है, वो बिका हुआ, उसकी कलम बिकी हुई है। और जिसकी कलम बिक जाए ना, किसी का विचार बिक जाए, तो वो समाज का हितैषी नहीं होता, वो फिर वो अपने हित के बारे में सोचता है। और मैं ये कहती हूँ, 4 वर्षों 40 वर्षों तक तुम दूसरों को जल्दीबाजी के चक्कर में दूसरे को प्रधानमंत्री बनाओगे, उसका महल तैयार करोगे, इससे अच्छा है कि और थोड़ा सा लंबा समय करके अपनी कुटिया तैयार कर लो। भैया अपनी कुटिया अपनी होती है, किराए का मकान किराए का होता है, कब निकाल के भगा दे। इनकी लड़ाई भी हमें लड़नी पड़ेगी, जो भी चापलूसी कर रहे हैं ना कांग्रेस की, कल को जो अभी कांग्रेस की चापलूसी कर रहे हैं ना, कल को जब इन्हें कांग्रेस कहीं पे देगी नहीं पद, क्योंकि इनकी सबकी अपनी अपनी इच्छाएं हैं। अब वो जब इच्छा पूर्ति नहीं होगी तब कहेंगे अरे कांग्रेस बहुत बुरी निकली यार, फिर इनकी लड़ाई भी हमें लड़नी पड़ेगी, यहीं आके गिरने वाले हैं। चिंता क्यों कर रहे हो?
He was of course part of the discussion and he suggested that he will be supporting the subcategorization within the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and the reason that he was forwarding were crucial. One is of course what he called the emotional, ethical and moral responsibilities of the people, that those who have benefited out of reservation for such a long time, it is their responsibility to take care of the people who are marginalized and outside. This concern. And further he was also suggesting that there is a benefit that has been what you call exploited or appropriated by certain caste and communities, and therefore it is now the time to examine that they have some kind of a mobility, and therefore those who are mobile, those who are what you call creamy layer, need to think about other welfare schemes. So there is a kind of a consideration and a logic that often been argued and suggested that this subcategorization is a valid and necessary argument. Now, of course, there is a kind of a, from very long time, there are concerns that has been raised that suggesting that certain groups in Maharashtra, in Uttar Pradesh, in Punjab, in Haryana, in Andhra Pradesh, that certain caste and communities within the scheduled caste are basically elevating their social mobility and emerge some kind of a middle class status, emerge in a kind of middle class status. And apart from that, this suggestion that there is some kind of heterogeneity within the social, within the deprived section, that is also an accepted norm. But if you see the demands and claims, especially of those people who we believe that are marginalized and downtrodden and are not part of the middle class, you will find that reservation within the government sector is one of the demand. Like for that matter, if you check the Lohji Salve Commission report in Maharashtra on Matangs, you will find that it is not on demand only for the reservations. The demand is also for multiple welfare schemes, including good housing, medical facilities, education and multiple other important entitlements that are required for a good social life. So they were not only demanding reservations, but you will find that what the Supreme Court did in this kind of an examination is almost like a knee-jerk reaction to a very, very difficult and concern that the scheduled castes were raising for a very long time. One which already the earlier speaker elaborated in such a wonderful manner with facts and sensitivities, that probably the India's question is not about simple job distribution, and reservation is almost collided or what you call belittled as a job distribution program. It was part of the larger social justice agenda, in which the idea of humanity, creating an egalitarian society, building a good moral life, that was the crucial task of social justice movement. And that particular problem was not even touched by the Supreme Court. That we all, every day, I mean, there are numbers of cases in a year, almost 26,000 cases in a year of scheduled caste atrocities. And you will find that though we understand that the society is not emerging to that level of humanity and egalitarianism, the concern to build a good society is almost absent. So the primary concern of building a good society based on the values of social justice is almost absent. Nobody is even talking about that. Second, there was a concern that probably reservation will create some kind of a acceptance in the government jobs, and there will be some kind of a mobility amongst the marginalized social groups. And the earlier speaker, both of them showed that if you see the participation of the people belong to the marginalized communities is almost minuscule. There is not even a significant number, and therefore though there was a technical aspect of reservation which suggested that you will be part of a grand developmental project after independence, even we have failed into that. Third, it was also thought that it is not only the institutional engagement of the scheduled caste in jobs, but also political power. But again, if you see the current last 2 decades, we'll find that even in that particular sphere where our political parties are almost disseminated into this time, there is no independent political voice that can promote and protect the interests of the scheduled caste today. And therefore the kind of a depression that we have, the scheduled castes are facing that kind of a depression and hopelessness, that nobody is talking about basic human entitlements like housing and land distribution. Nobody is talking about basic implementation of reservations in government job, that you at least implement that policy which you have celebrated so high. There is no implementation of that policy, and of course at the political turf we are almost facing a powerless condition. In that depression, the Supreme Court comes up with such a terrible judgment, suggesting that there are people who are mobile, though there are groups which are middle class, there are people who are exploiting and appropriating social justice and reservation. And as Anita ji was rightly pointed out, that these are the people who are taking the call or holding the flag of social justice for such a long time. Because of their presence in middle class spaces, that the idea of Ambedkar or Phule, this name that we are hearing now and then, it is just because of that particular class and community that got some benefits from reservation and come up to these places, these universities and big institutions, and carried the flag of Baba Saheb and Phule. And therefore probably this is the bigger challenge today, that though there is a huge depression and there are multiple indicators which suggest that life has not changed much for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, but there is this kind of a very negative term that has now come up, suggesting that those who have benefited by the reservation in the last 75 years are basically middle class, and they have exploited this middle class, excluding others out of that purview. And this is a dangerous term. Why I am saying this is a dangerous term? Why? Because there is some kind of a vilification, some kind of villainization of those people who have benefited out of this. And this is why I am saying dangerous, because these are the people whom have for a very, very long time continued that battle for social justice and hold the flag high for our people. And therefore this vilification that they are appropriators, they are dominant, they are middle class, they cannot allow others to take the call, to allow their entry into the government job. This kind of a falsity is now being created not only by the Supreme Court but of course other allies like media is also working on the same direction. And therefore out of this depression when we are sitting together here to think about the future plan, I think it is very important to go back to the agenda of social justice which was created by our forefathers. So again, the battle should not be on social justice alone, that or reservation policy alone. I think there is a kind of a conceptual category that often been imagined within the political science discourse, something called a democratic socialism. That somewhere we need to think about a policy framework, a political agenda, a kind of a perspective that will bring some kind of a new change in the current political discourse. And in the beginning when somebody was reading, I think from the organization was reading the demands or the call for a new policy framework, I think we should all accept that there is a kind of a possibility to bring newer change. And what are those changes? One is of course the requirement to force the government to bring important welfare schemes for the poor, marginalized people, mainly on the issue of education, health, basic human entitlements, land distribution. I think the movement for a very long time has forgotten these foundational values of the social movement, of social justice debate, that we need to go back to the poorest and suggest that they require some kind of entitlements, and the movement will contest and challenge the state for the protection of those ideas that land, health and education are crucial. Large number of population is divorced from those facilities, and therefore if the state is not providing those facilities, the state is no more required. That kind of a challenging attitude is required. Second, what often been called as affirmative action policies, like earlier was also suggesting on the same lines, that there are so many other institutional, like this idea called contractual jobs, or for that matter in JNU there are fellowships and scholarship, but they are not open for the marginalized social groups. And therefore there is a requirement that apart from reservation, there is multiple other initiatives and other sectors that are run by the government, but there is no value for social justice into that. And therefore creating a space where social justice can be implemented on those spaces is crucial. And therefore in all those sectors where social justice is not applied but are run by the government, but are the institutions of the state, including super specialty courses, including IITs and IIMs, everywhere there should be a new location for affirmative action policies. Third, and again it was suggested that though there is some kind of a shrinkage of the government jobs, there is not many jobs available to the deprived sections that we can claim. But still, I think the institutional process that we have in India is crucial and very significant, and therefore demanding that reservation should be fulfilled in the state institution is crucial. And